The True Adventures of Suzy Q. Written by Susan Einarsson. Narrated by the author. Chapter 1. The Miracle. The doctor came into the examining room with the test results. She already knew what he was going to say. She felt queasy. He shuffled some papers, sat down, feigned a smile, and said, "You're pregnant." Thud. Her heart hit the floor like a dropped pumpkin the day after Halloween. Pregnant? How could this happen? Okay, she knew how it happened. What she couldn't figure out was how this could happen. Didn't she lose an ovary in her teens? Didn't the doctors sit there with their sad eyes telling her she would never have kids? What happened to that tragic forecast? Her mind spun, trying to make sense of it. She was not ready to be a mommy. Sure, at 25, technically she was old enough, but in reality, surely not mature enough to be a parent. Kids need parents. Suzy Q didn't see herself as a parent. Parents were stodgy, married people with stable jobs and a mortgage. At the very least, they had a yard and an extra bedroom. She loved not having responsibilities because she hadn't reached that level of maturity. She still rented a room in a house with her girlfriends. In fact, she was a coward and totally convinced a life of poverty and untold misery lay ahead if a baby were on the scene. She wanted a quick solution to a serious problem. She opted for an abortion. It was 1981, and abortion was barely legal. She had to go before a tribunal to get approval for the procedure, which was granted. She hadn't given a moment's thought to what was happening inside her body. No one talked about that. All the girls she knew were just going on and on about how it was a good thing that abortions were legal, and they were all for it because a baby would ruin your life after all. Why, it was only yesterday pregnant girls were hustled out of town to have their babies and then forced to give them up for adoption. Surely terminating them was a much better option. She kept telling herself she wasn't ready to commit to anyone or anything. In fact, she had canceled her wedding just a few weeks earlier because every time she thought of saying "I do," it came out "I don't." Her career in the media was everything to her, her entire focus and plan for life. She had a fantastic job as an afternoon radio DJ and loved it. Her plan was simple: become a star. She didn't care much if she would be a famous radio star or maybe a singing star, just as long as she became well-known and had lots of money. Maybe it was just a cover for some deep insecurities, but for now, that kind of soul-searching just wasn't on the agenda. She had a much bigger, more immediate situation to deal with. She was so scared she was shaking. The doctor made a phone call and handed her a piece of paper with a date on it. She thanked him and wandered out of the office in a terrified daze. Her little problem would soon be taken care of. She tried not to think about it much over the next while, just ate a lot of crackers and busied herself with meaningless distractions. The day of the surgery arrived like any other, and she rode in her mother's car to the hospital. But something was bothering her. She wondered if she was doing the right thing. All of the reasons for going ahead were clear. She loved her job. She did not want to get married. She was not a responsible person, and her income wasn't that great, and it was going on welfare that was really not appealing in the least. She did not believe she had the qualities necessary to raise a child. She was selfish and self-absorbed. All valid reasons, and yet some small doubt kept nagging away at her. The closer they got to the hospital, the more anxious she became. She asked her mother what she thought. Not taking her eyes off the road, Mom said it was entirely her decision. Her mother always was a nervous driver, but today she looked particularly nervous. Come to think of it, her mom never really seemed that confident. A very nice woman, but sort of bland, never taking a stand on anything, agreeing with everyone, even when the last person she had agreed with had a drastically different opinion than the person she had just enthusiastically agreed with the day before. She knew her mom took many strange steps to avoid conflict, careful to hide who she was, what she thought, what her opinions were.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?